A warm welcome to Diski Talk with Luyolo. If you're tuning in for the very first time, I ask that you please subscribe and hit the notification bell. If you've been a part of this journey, I hope you thoroughly enjoy this tactical analysis of the first half of England versus Italy in the Euro 2020 final. So I'll start with England. With regards to how England have started, they've started in a 3-4-3. So the three at the back, you've got Kyle Walker on the right side, you've got Stones in the middle of the three, Maguire on the left side. The two wing backs being Trippier on the right, Shaw on the left. In the midfield, the double pivot of Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips. Up front, you've got Kane, and then you got Sterling and Mount either side of them. So when we look at how England have started, they started very aggressively within the first couple of minutes. That saw them getting the goal. So Kane dropped deep, and he was able then to play the ball out wide to Trippier, who poised himself and then picked out a cross and found Luke Shaw at the back post, who finished with aplomb. Now, one thing I really want to go into is the duality and versatility of this England 3-4-3 with regards to the wing backs. So whenever England are under pressure, they do tuck the two wing backs in, and then it becomes a 5. However, when they space to attack the Italians, the wing backs do bomb on forward. That's what I've really enjoyed with regards to the wing back system. Now, moving to Italy. The Italians have struggled in the first couple of minutes, but they are growing into the game and they're finding a lot more confidence with them rotating the ball around. They've started with their traditional 4-3-3 with Donnarumma in goals, a back four of Di Lorenzo, two centre-backs being Chiellini, Leonardo Bonucci and Emerson at left-back. In the midfield, you got Jorginho at the base, you got Barella and Verratti either side of them, and up front, you've got Insigne coming off the left, Chiesa on the right, and Immobile up front. So with regards to the Italians, I think they've struggled because they were not prepared for the formation that England have lined up with. England going with a 3-4-3 has surprised the Italians. The way in which they've set up expecting them to play with a back four, and that's why they've struggled very much so with the wing backs. If you guys have noticed throughout the game, it is Trippier and Luke Shaw who found the most joy and found the most space on the sides. Having a look at the midfield with regards to the Italians, I think they're really struggling because they're trying to match the tempo and the intensity that England are playing at, as opposed to slowing down the game and playing at their own speed. And then when you look at the boys up front, I think Immobile has been very poor within the first half. He struggled to hold up play. He struggled to get the other players into the game. And like I had mentioned in the preview, he was going to be very, very important in this game because he's one that's due a goal. He's due a big performance, and second half will be very important for him. You know, he really needs to get into the game. He has to have better hold-up play, and he has to bring in those boys in a lot better. Chiesa has seemed a threat. He seemed very, very threatening down that right-hand side. He did come in onto his left, and he had a shot that just went past the post, which seemed Italy's best chance within the first half. On the left-hand side, Insigne has struggled to penetrate that inverted channel, and he struggled to occupy the half space. But otherwise, it's looking very poised at this moment because Italy have grown back into the game with regards to how they've kept hold of possession, and they have England penned deep in their own half. So you do see that 3-2-5 that Italy normally adopt when they have penned opposition in their own half. So going into second half, if Italy are to change things, they have to get a hold of the game by controlling it a lot more. Yes, they've got ball possession. However, they have to make use of that ball possession in the final third. They have to be a lot more direct with regards to their route at goal, and they have to take their chances. I think Immobile is going to be very important with regards to his hold-up play, Insigne occupying that half space and trying to cut in and get those shots away. Chiesa has been doing really well in my opinion. I think he just has to keep going at Luke Shaw because there is space in behind. So with regards then to the midfield of Italy, Barella needs to get a lot more involved, and Verratti as well. So far they have been able to get their foot onto the ball. However, they haven't dominated in the midfield. Jorginho needs to slow the game down and start controlling it a lot more. Otherwise, I think Italy are poised to come back into this game. I think as the minute progresses, they will start growing into the game for as long as they're able to hold that ball, rotate it, and penetrate the right channels, and also be a lot more direct in the final third. So it's going to be very important that Italy start off very well. So when we have a look at England, I think England have done really well. I think the most important thing is that they've been able to nullify Italy. So Italy have kept a hold of the ball. However, Italy have struggled to penetrate where it matters most. In their own defensive third, England have been tactically organized. That's what I've really liked about their approach in this game. And it goes back to the duality of the two wing backs. So whenever Italy have pinned them deep in their own half, England have then tucked in the two wing backs, and then it becomes a solid five. And what then helps is that with the two boys in midfield, with Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips, they're very compact, very close to each other. And then the legs of Mason Mount are very important, because what he tends to do is that he tends to drop in a lot deeper alongside Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice. With regards to Raheem Sterling and Kane, I think Kane so far has had a very good match, because he tends to drop in deep and he occupies the spaces in midfield where it's very difficult to pick him up, where he comes sort of into a false nine role, and then he's able to play very threatening passes. Raheem Sterling so far has been quiet. However, if he is able then to use his speed to get in behind that Italian defense, I think then he could seal the game for England. And I also think that Harry Kane should try to occupy the two centre-backs a lot more in the second half and allow Mason Mount to be the one who drops off into those areas. But otherwise, it's 1-0 to England, and it remains to be seen as to who will walk away with this one. I will maintain my prediction of 2-1 to Italy, because England have done their part. It's now time for Italy to do their part. I hope you guys have thoroughly enjoyed this tactical analysis of the Euro 2020 final. I am Liolo, signing out.